We're
We are
live,
live.
Kelly.
Hi,
We are
John.
back. I'm in frame today. Look at
Are
this.
you? You look great.
It's, uh,
You look great. It's unfortunate you don't have clothes in the background, though. I'm a little disappointed.
you have less clothes than you did last week. What
No,
happened? Did you
you
clean
know
that
what?
closet out?
I need to do laundry. That's why.
Yeah, that's what
They're
happened.
all on the floor right there. Um, okay. I shared. Yeah. Also, we cleaned out my parents' house. We're sort of prepping for them to move in with my sister. And so we just sort of like did a massive dump of their whole garage. We just got rid of all my dad's tools and all the stuff. So um, I think probably there was some stuff in here that I got rid of too. I don't know.
Are they selling their
Anyway,
house?
what?
They're
They don't
selling their
own their
house.
house. They rent. They like a few years ago, they were like, we don't want to upkeep any of this shit anymore. And so they sold their house and they moved into this little, like, they downsized into this little rental. And it's perfect for them. And they have a great landlord and everything. So now they don't have to deal with any of that mess.
I came to like that like usually people come to that in like their older age, like, oh, I don't want the fucking hassle of a house.
Mm-hmm.
I came to that like very like even though I couldn't afford a house where I live anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
even that makes that decision very easy for me. But even if I could, like the
Who
hassle
wants
of
it?
owning a home, that's what I'm saying. I'd much rather rent.
Yep, yep. I mean, and people talk about the equity and all that kind of stuff and like, oh, it's an investment, which like that's true if you move into, listen, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, but like if you move into, I'll still talk about it as if I know. If you move into like an up and coming community, like my sister, she and her husband years ago moved into McKinney, Texas, which then exploded. So their house like doubled in value by the time they moved out of it, right? So that worked for them, but like that could have not happened. You know what I mean? How do you know a community is going to explode like that?
Okay. There's people invest in real estate, sure, and it's usually like a pretty like that's one of the safer investments that you can make. What I'm saying is that I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't want the investment that it takes from the time that you buy it to the time where that pays off eventually is way more than I am ever willing to put into a
Time
house.
and
I don't want to
like,
work on this shit.
nope, nope. It just sounds awful. The one thing I'll say is I want to paint my walls and I want to like make edits to the house. Edits
If you're thinking
to a
like a
house.
development environment, sure.
I don't know. Oh, hi, Mohammed. Mohammed says financial advice 101, buy something that will double in value. Sure.
It's not buy high and sell low, Muhammad. That's what I've been taught.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I hear that the safest, what are we doing? The safest investment is, that's not what we talk about. Anyway, I have a tip though. There is a really great podcast. I think I've told you about it, John, before, maybe. Now it's called Money for Couples, and it's, what's his name? Ramit Sethi. Ramit Sethi. And it's basically like couples counseling, but about money. And Jeremy and I listen to it on road trips, and then we have like big, deep conversations about like our money history and our family money stories that we sort of were taught or whatever. Anyway, it's really, really great. And I'm sure I just adopted everything he believes, which is partly like home ownership is a little bit overrated. And yeah.
I've got another topic that's overrated that I'm going to put out there today.
Great.
Not my hot take, but someone on X. I'm back on X, Kelly. I've
Hey,
been
well, good.
looking at stuff again, trying
Okay.
to get back into the rhythm of posting occasionally and at least like seeing what people are talking about. So I
Mhm.
found a few comments that I found interesting today, and we'll get into that. You mentioned before we went live that there is a you went deeper on Radiant. I did not.
Yeah.
So what have you found out?
Yeah. So I'll share my screen. Hang on. Can I ever figure it out? Share my screen. I felt like I didn't do a fair job like talking about it. Okay. Ignore this because there's a little mistake. But and I wanted to give sort of a little bit more information about kind of how it works. So essentially, once you tell it what you're building, right? And I gave it like a little brief thing. So what I'm building is um, basically, my dad's in the hospital. Update. My dad had surgery yesterday and it went really well. And so, yay.
Very nice.
So, and on the drive home, my mom was texting everyone who has been asking her, how's Santa? How's Santa? Right. And so she's like, okay, Uncle Ted, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The priest at their church. Okay. She probably sent like 100 messages. So I was like, there's probably is an app where it's like health update for someone who has had surgery or is in some kind, like maybe has cancer or something like that, that you can just send one update and everyone in your circle gets the update,
Oh
right?
shit.
That's a good idea, huh?
Cool.
Pretty
Yeah.
good idea. Maybe it exists. I don't know. I was just like, oh, I'll build that with Radiant and see. So this is meant to be a mobile app, which this is not laid out like mobile app, but could be, I guess, whatever. And so what it does is you say what you want it to be. I gave it a little brief thing. Like you said last week, shorter is better, I guess. And then what it does is it creates this to-do list. So these are the things that need to be built in order to build your app. So you can look and see what it's planning to do, if that makes sense, right? So
Okay.
it's going to build this page, and here's the functionality of this page and whatever. And when you're ready to do that, you click build to do. So you can edit this. You can, if it got it wrong, you can like add stuff or delete stuff or whatever. Maybe you don't want the page to be called dashboard. You change the path, right? And then you click build to do, and then it will go through and like do all the stuff, right? And it's just thinking, and then you can ask it questions about it. It builds the page and it gets it going. So that's sort of, I think, the kind of different. I don't know about I haven't worked with Lovable or Claude Code or any of these recently at all. So I don't know, maybe they have a feature like this, but I think this is a unique feature where it's like it doesn't build it until you actually say, yeah, that's correct. This is what I want to build. Now build this one little piece of it, right? And then you mark that task as complete. I don't know if you can see that somewhere. You say like, okay, that's done. Let's move on to the next thing. And then it's like, okay, here's the next to do. You click on it, you make sure it's all right, and then it starts building it.
I really like that. It kind of gives you like a
Cool.
roadmap, a priority roadmap almost, and like, okay, focus on this now. It doesn't just try to build the whole thing, which is, when I
Exactly.
work with any of the vibe coding tools, that's what it tried to do.
Just poops out
Question,
a big thing. Yeah.
yeah, question for you is this does it always make a landing page first? Like it did that last
No.
week too when we were
It
using it. What?
oh, actually, yes, it does. I believe it does. And then it makes auth next. Auth is sort of like, I think it's first thing, and then it will make all the rest of the whatever it is. And now I had to go in like this was very, very simplistic. So one thing that I would like to see happen here is you put in your prompt, your brief little prompt, and it's like, okay, it sets up all your to-dos and whatever, and it does set up your data structure. I would want it to ask more questions first, because it didn't actually, like, the data structure didn't work for what I wanted to do. It was sort of like, when you work with a bubble, like a coaching client, and they've just guessed at it and they're like, I don't know, everything on the user record and whatever. It's kind of like that, right?
Hmm.
And there were two-way relationships on everything. Like you can see sort of like these are relationship records. These are the
And you
fields.
don't like that, or you
No, I
do
mean,
like
you need
that?
it, but do you need it on both? Like here's the thing is, like, on Bubble, I would put the relationship usually on one. I would put it just on the sort of child thing, right? So like if it's a health event that I have I would create a join table for that. But like if I invite my sister to be a part of my dad's surgery on this platform, the health event of his surgery, then I would create, oh my God, I would do this. My dad's not going to be a user on the platform. So I create a patient profile for my dad. Then I'm going to create a health event, which is dad's surgery, and then, or Santa's surgery, whatever. And then I'm going to invite my sisters and his priest and, whatever, friends, whatever, invite all those people. And then when they join, it creates a member profile, right? Now, this event membership profile like has the user right here, and it has the health event right here. So you
Mhm.
don't need now on the user record to also say this user is a member of these various health events, right?
What about like patient profile? Like doesn't that data type need to be connected to the
Yeah.
health events like by automatically or
Yeah. And it all is, but it was basically putting a two-way relationship. It was putting the relationship on the thing or the patient profile, right? Here's the user that is related if there is a user. If the patient is a user on the platform, right? Then
gotcha.
it would relate them here. And then it would also have like patient profile or whatever in here. So I had to go in and you can chat with your data structure over here on the right. And you can just ask it questions, right? So like my question, let me go back up to the top.
And
Right. There's a lot of duplicate information. My schema, there's the relationship is saved on both places. Could you just keep it on the one so it doesn't bog down the user record? Now, it's just IDs, right? So this is not going to bog down the user record, but I'm thinking it's two things to maintain, right? It's two fields to maintain. If I create a new health event and I'm invited to the health event, then it also has to get added to my user record. And why? When the relationship exists somewhere else, just keep it in the one place.
um maybe you're thinking, and why is it I'm not sure why it's a bad, is it visually like you don't want to have to look at all these columns in the database, or are you afraid that it's going to weigh down performance on the front end because of all these
Uh,
connections with different
it's
tables?
it's not that. I mean, I guess maybe a tiny bit it's that, but mainly it's that like I like to have a single source of truth for where the relationship lives, if at all possible, right? So the relationship will live on the membership, the event membership, and then I'm not I'm always going to look for it there. I'm going to say give me all
Hmm.
the event members where this user is in that record, right? So like in Bubble, if you make a change to something where there's a relationship and then that relationship is stored elsewhere you have to have a trigger or you have to remember to add that to the workflow to make sure that those two fields two relationship fields are both maintained and it's
Updated, yeah. Okay, I see your
right,
point. Yeah, I see your point. You'd have to, like, if we're thinking of these in bubble terms, maybe grading does this differently. But if we're thinking in
exactly,
bubble terms, you'd have to set up like 3 steps to like
yeah,
maintain that one record. You have to change it in this data type, in this data type, blah 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 blah.
yeah. Radiant probably
Is
doesn't
that
need that.
right? Is that right? That is right. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, I mean you have
Um,
to, yeah,
yeah, maybe they don't need that. But I have heard a lot of people say that, like, oh man, I wish by default Bubble would set up that two-way relationship. So I think they're trying to address that
yeah,
feedback of like something and making it easier by default. Maybe by default, I don't know. This is a good like question for like,
yeah,
is it better to do it by default and then remove them, or is it more work to forget to do it and then oh shit, I needed that thing and now I have to like
right.
add a new column and then populate it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think ideally, like if you look at like Airtable or Coda, you can set up automatic relationships that are automatically maintained. The system maintains them. So if you create a new event membership, it's going to automatically add it to this, wherever it is, right? On the user record. I have no problem with it existing in two places. But if you have to manually make sure those fields are updated, like that, I don't want to do that. Right.
Hey,
So
look
anyway,
at
point
you
is,
vibe coding
I know, I
your new
don't know.
solution. What got you over the hurdle here? Was it
Well,
our rigging conversation?
we had this call today, and I was like, I gotta have something to talk about because I've been like at the hospital all week, and so this took me, 30 minutes. I don't know. I mean, it didn't build any. I don't have anything but a landing page, and I got stuck on like the dashboard. This is Oh, now it worked. Well, it worked for a second. Basically, I couldn't. There's this funny thing in here where like, okay, you tell it, all right, let's create the dashboard. But then in order to see the dashboard, you need to effectively be running as a user who is allowed to see this page, but you don't know that. And so here's how you run as. You would say, okay, I'm Charlie, right? And then it would kind of populate it with Charlie stuff. But there's something, happening here. But basically, it would just redirect because the page has a redirect if you're not logged in. But you don't know that, and you're in the editor. So you click on dashboard, and it just takes you back to auth over and over again, or takes you back to index or whatever. And you don't know how to get into it. So I'm asking it like, how can I work on the dashboard page? It keeps going to the auth page, and it tells you, oh, it's protected. It requires authentication. You need to sign up. So then I sign up in here, which is also a strange experience because this doesn't feel like, this feels like the editor, and in Bubble in the editor, it doesn't
This is
work.
really the previewer. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
it's
like
like
the
preview.
preview we're looking at, right?
Yeah. Yes, I guess so. I think you have to click on this for it to become the editor, which I don't know why it says select and not edit. Yeah. So anyways, I think it's like really like it is fun to work in. I really like that if you ask it to do something, let me see if I can find an example. It will say thinking, right? Thought for 9 seconds. And then it will tell you what it's thinking about. And you can just like read what it's thinking about. It's really cool.
I noticed ChatGPT started doing that too. Like
Oh,
every
really?
time I put it, it'll start like when I put in a question, it'll like read like user is frustrated.
Mm,
Respond this way. It's like like it's telling you
wow.
what like the prompts it's using to like craft a response. So this feels like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like probably a lot of what I'm talking about is mimicked in other platforms that I just haven't been using. I haven't worked in a week or a month. So anyway.
Well, whatever. So what is it? What do you call it? Like it feels like you're warming up to this idea that they're like this platform is one that you would use,
Oh,
right?
it's not that I wouldn't use it. And I think I wasn't clear on that last week. I think it's incredible. And I think like if I were building something as a founder, I would try to build it in Radian. Like I don't have anything against it at all. My point last week was as a professional builder in Bubble, my role is very clear. The Bubble platform is complex, it's hard to learn, it takes a long time, and it has like little quirks, right? That you just wouldn't know unless you've worked in it a lot. And so there's a role for a professional in that scenario, which is me and you, right? But something like Radian, because it's so like just common language, there's not necessarily a role for me unless the founder has built something that is not working, and then it needs to be debugged in a highly technical way. In that case, then there's a role for someone who is highly technical, which is not me. So my point with Radian was that there's not a place for me in it except to build tools for myself. Like there's not a professional place for me in it.
And I don't know if I agree with that, but
What would it be? What would be?
it there's always going to be someone that does not want to build whatever they're
Yeah.
talking about. They're not going to take the time to sit in this platform, regardless of how technical they are or not. They just don't want to deal with it. And it's also more than just building. It's also more than just the execution of this engineering thing. Someone may have an idea that they're just like, hey, I want you to design, build, test some prototypes, and then build it for me. And now
But do you
it's like,
even then, I don't think I'm the right person. I fully expect if I keep going down the rabbit hole with Radian and building my little idea here, that I'm going to screw it up because I don't have the technical knowledge to know if it's doing it the right. Like I have the data structure knowledge, so I can be like, I don't think that's actually robust enough for this thing. I have that kind of broad knowledge, but the technical knowledge around like like row level security for a non-bubble app, I don't have that knowledge. And yes, I could acquire it. I could learn those things, but I don't have it right now. And I feel like I can't be the person then that charges people money to,
got it.
yeah.
What's Muhammad saying? Nice. Only, although other builders can plan, they just build it all at the same time.
Other
You
vibe
reference
coding
Meridian?
systems, I think.
Got you. Yeah. I mean, I have to get better at pulling these comments up when we see, like, when they come up, because we're always like way further out in the conversation. Then we have to go back and say, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mohammed. I'm sorry. We need to be better live streamers.
Well, we could do
Uh,
the thing where we put them up, but then it's always on my face, and I don't like that.
It is always on your face, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes over you. Yeah.
Actually, it's not that bad right now. Okay, it's below my face.
Okay, so Radiant, cool. Again, I still think that this is the platform that I would jump to had I real like if I believed that I could ship what I'm learning that people want faster on Radiant, I would absolutely use that platform. Um, right now, that's not the case. I think that I can, and this is like the question that I have for me is like, when does that just become me taking a leap?
Yeah,
Like is that and just spending a little bit of time in that editor and seeing what's possible there. I have to think that rebuilding an app entirely is going to take some time. And is that the best use of my time right now? I don't think it really is because I have more of a
yeah,
product problem than a development problem. So I'm not the need isn't there yet. But I think that's the place that I'm going. That's like the top one in my mind. If all of a sudden we say that, all right, bubble is not the thing for us anymore. And with that, I wanted to transition into one of the comments that I wanted to talk about today. We're going to go back to our friend George.
oh,
He said
George.
this, and I think this is a good comment here that we should be talking more about. I don't know if you can see this, Kelly, but I'll read it. One of
Yeah,
the
read it.
fastest growing bubble apps we spoke to scaled from 20 million in booking volume, and they're now worried about how they'll handle load in peak season. Most bubble apps don't break because they outgrow bubble. They break because their data privacy rules and query patterns were never designed to handle 10x the load in the first place. You can't fix that with a dedicated server or migrating away. You fix it by understanding why it's slow and designing for that scale before you need it.
Yep.
Uh, I think that is very true, and again, it's not an argument for or against, but I think we overestimate, like, I think we'll minimize how we like the importance of how we built something, and we'll blame it on, oh, bubble just doesn't handle this well.
Yep.
But it could be like a really complex. I know that I have like at least 5 really complex queries right now that I have not spent the time to fix that are eating up workload units.
Mm,
It's left over from the old pricing model,
yeah.
and it's kind of an argument of like, well, whose fault is that? It's kind of mine because I designed an inefficient query. Bubble kind of changed this thing on me, but the responsibility is shared. I'd say I can go in there and do that. I just think that there's a better use of my time right now.
Yeah.
Um, so like, I think that's like no matter what you platform you build on, you're going to have to change the structure of any app for performance reasons once you start growing and getting beyond just a few
Hmm.
hundred, even thousand users.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, in the past 2 months, I can't remember if we've talked about this, but we definitely talked about it in my like Thursday calls that like 3 clients in the past 2 months have had these sort of big operations when they search, like a big filtering operation, or um, there's this sort of like nutrition. It's for parents who have tube children who require tube feeding, and they need to measure the nutrients that their kids are consuming, right? Um, and running that sort of process or whatever to say, okay, I put like an apple in there and then this powder, protein powder, and then this other thing. And then it's creating all this stuff in the database. It's actually creating like a row for each nutrient, right? So it's great for one meal for this thing. It's creating a few hundred rows, right? Depending on how many different food items they put in there. It's a very
Mhm.
heavy operation.
Yep.
And, but it is like the right way to do it, if that makes sense. And I won't get into why, but it was just completely like slow and it was eating up workload units like crazy for this operation, right? And so we ended up having to go back to this model of like, oh my God, it was so upsetting. It was like one field on the blend record for each nutrient. So there's like 60 fields on this one record.
Oh boy.
That was a number. And so she had to manually, and I was like, this is untenable. This is like not maintainable at all. It's terrible. And it's super fast and it costs like nothing workload units wise. So the wrong way to build, the most inefficient way to build as for a developer. And also like if you just have a field on the record, you can't save additional information about that bit of data, right? So it's also poor in terms of like actual data quality, but it is the only way that you can build that operation in Bubble and it not cost you $1 million for, or not $1 million, but like eventually cost you actual money for workload units. And it was just way too slow. So it's like that we set up that whole thing, the right way to do it. Cause she of course had built it the way that to her, she was like, oh, just a field on. So she had this big crazy thing to begin with. We built it out differently to capture more information or whatever. And then it was so slow and so expensive that we ended up going back to the original way she had done it. I felt so bad, number one, that she had paid me all this, money and time and everything for it. Was elegant. It was like she understood it. She could work with it, whatever. And then it was just like didn't behave in the way that it was needed. So that wasn't a scaling issue. It's not like so many more people were using the app that all of a sudden it was just like, oh, Bubble doesn't process the information fast enough
or this specific operation that's needed is not handled efficiently with the options that I have here, right? That's what it sounds like from what you're saying.
Yes. But I guess what I'm saying is that wasn't a one-off. I had 3 clients in 1 month. 3 clients in 1 month that had very similar kind of cases that ended up, well, one of them it was partly a scale issue and we ended up being able to, now I think we have to move her database to Xano or Supabase, which is also very upsetting. But basically,
so how are these? I'm curious about. I've been out of the coaching game for a long time now. Like when you go into those sessions, is it like do you assume that you have to present a solution to whatever problem that they're giving you, or is it like I'm gonna kind of help you think through the problem that you have right now? Like how do you
both?
Like what's the outcome of those meetings?
Yeah, I mean, often they think like I'm going to show up and fix it in that session, and so that rarely happens. Well, I mean, it can happen, but it's usually like here's a Band-Aid, we fixed it, right? But yeah, I'll explain like, okay, you're seeing this problem. The root of that problem is actually over here, and so. And it's always very common why they've done it the way they've done it. And then I'll say, like the right way that you would build this is you would do this and this and this. And usually it's too much information. And so I'll say, like, we can do that. It will probably take a few sessions, but here will be the outcome of that in terms of like, it'll be easier to work with and it will be faster or whatever. Or you'll be able to do that thing you actually literally can't do with the way it's structured now. Or we can find a workaround so that what you have will work, maybe not fully the way you want it to, but it's a little gap or stopgap kind of thing. And usually they'll go with the like fuller fix, right? Not always, and if they don't want to go with it, then we just do the Band-Aid and kind of move on.
Okay, that's kind of cool. So you give them like 2 options or whatever. It's like this is the quick and dirty way to do it. This is like what I think could be the right way to do it, but that's going to involve like some effort on your part. What's your goal here, right? Like,
but
is this for scale or is this for right now?
Right. And like they can't really make that decision often. They don't really know, they don't understand the weight of that decision. And so it'll often, almost always, a part of that conversation is me asking like about the future of like what they're imagining for their product, or like more about their users, who their users actually are, what's the environment they're in while they're using the app, to kind of tease out if it's actually necessary or not. Because sometimes they're building something that they think is required for that project because it was the idea they had. And they're not really thinking through like if it's actually necessary. Sometimes you just dump the whole thing and build a different solution that achieves the end goal but without whatever twists and turns they
Yeah,
thought were
agree.
required.
I think that's such a universal problem when building this stuff. It's like we all struggle with this. It's not just even newbies. It's like everybody.
Yeah.
Like, do we even need this part of it? How important is this worth 3 hours? Right, this part of it is worth. I'm always asking myself that question.
Yeah.
This dude says hi, Kelly. I don't know who this is.
Hi, Maruk. Hi, Maruk.
Um,
I'm doing
the
very well, thank you.
all right, coaching. Okay, there was one other. I'm gonna left turn here, Kelly.
Yep.
There was another interesting post that I wanted to get your thoughts on. Again from X. So let's look at this dude. Sorry, that was the slowest transition ever. I should have had it ready. Here it is. All right, this is fucking long, Kelly. So I usually don't read long posts, but this one did catch my attention. This do you know Stephen Bartlett?
Yeah.
You do? This is
Yeah, he's like
like
a podcaster guy.
got it.
He does this Diary of a CEO. Am I right? Is this the same guy, right?
It has to be because this is very like entrepreneurial thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it. Tell me when to stop, or tell me when you have stop me when you have something to say. This is probably an unexpected opinion coming from me. Entrepreneurship is oversold and awareness is undersold. The not so popular truth: most people would be happier with a good salary than a successful startup. But most social media continues to push a generation to optimize for lives they actually don't want. Entrepreneurs like me get a lot of likes and followers when we tell people to quit their jobs and chase their dreams. But here is the context that we nearly always miss. Entrepreneurship can be really boring. You will have to do things that you do not enjoy. You will deal with big, hard, stressful problems every day, including bank holidays, Christmas, and any other time off for years. If you're lucky enough to be successful, the problems will get bigger, not smaller. You will not have one boss, you will have hundreds, every customer, every autonomy conversation, Kelly.
No, this is just like, yeah, echoes
It's
of
like
that.
so this is someone, like you know who this dude is, and
Mhm.
like he's saying the same shit that we were alluding to, or that
Mhm.
no, we did say we didn't allude to it, we said it.
Yeah.
You will probably work 3 times the hours you do now, have 10x the stress, and tiny probability of significant success.
Mhm.
A recent survey of 87.7% of founders deal with at least mental health deal with at least mental health issues. That's not a bug, that's a feature of entrepreneurship.
Mm.
You'll see your kids less, you'll probably earn less for years, maybe forever. You probably pay yourself last and as little as possible. You'll struggle to switch off forever. Your phone
God,
will
this is
probably
depressing.
become a prison.
So depressing.
This is honest stuff here. This is coming from an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And here's the punchline. If you succeed, it all gets harder. More money equals more complexity. More growth equals more anxiety. More success equals more people depending on you. In life, Jesus. Okay, it's almost.
Okay, I will say, here's what I'll say about this. I think that's all right. That sounds right to me. And I'm finding that my sort of I don't have a desire for entrepreneurship, but I think I definitely have a desire for like, I don't know, like um having a unique career in some that I'm not just a normal, if that makes sense. Like I want something that's interesting, which is very stupid. Like it's just very
Is that
stupid. But
stupid?
I don't know. I mean, interesting to me makes sense, but interesting to other people, I think I'm realizing I kind of want that. I want people to go, ooh, ooh, or whatever, which who fucking cares, right?
Who fucking cares?
People care. I care. Like if we're all honest about it, I think we care how people respond to our career choice or what we do or whatever. Anyway, point is, I'm more and more, I'm like, what if I just had a job and I didn't have to think about how am I going to get clients or what kind of What are we going to talk about on the live? I'll still do the live stream with you because I just enjoy this. But like,
I mean, don't quit the live
I'm
stream.
not going to quit the live stream. But my life could be so much simpler. So much simpler. I could have a 401k. I could have, like all these sort of benefits that come with a job. And for some reason, for over a decade now, I've just been like, well, that's not for me. I'm special. Right. And so, yeah, I think it's like, and where has it gotten me? Where has it gotten me? Like if Bubble goes under, which they won't, I don't think, that's a bigger conversation. But if it goes under, like, what do I do? I could have built a career for myself that's more resilient. And I now am very dependent on this one platform. Anyway, all of that is to say, then there's the flip side, which is my husband, who is like entrepreneurial and has a business and has like slowly built this over time. And he's very good at it and he manages it really well. He's successful. Like his life is great. Well, he's married to me, right? So there's that. But also like he writes for 2 or 3 hours every morning. He takes like half a Friday off. He does definitely works more than I think just your average person. He worked on the weekends and stuff like that. But like we live in Spain. Like he has built the life that I think people think they're building toward when they think I want to be an entrepreneur, right? Travel the world, la, 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 right? So I don't think and his life isn't that stressful. Like he's not like, he pays himself, well enough. It's not like we're rolling in it or anything. We're not, but he's not struggling. He's not struggling in the way that tweet laid out, right? But Jeremy's also like very self-aware, very practical. He's like good with money, So I think it's not the problem isn't necessarily here's what I'm trying to say. The problem is not necessarily entrepreneurship. It's like, do you have the temperament for it? Which I guess is kind of what he's saying. It's about self-awareness. He says that in the first bit, right? Go ahead.
Let's continue the thing here because it
Okay.
goes on to basically talk about everything that you just said. It's more about it's actually the section that we stopped on. I'm not against entrepreneurship. I'm for self-awareness, right? Literally everything you were just saying, which is perfect. Truth wealth is probably knowing what is. I think is a big thing that like I wish this was bolded or something because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people hear that this is the life that you should lead and then take it on as their own idea without even realizing that. I certainly did that.
Yep.
Understanding your real strengths and weaknesses, designing within them, not against them. Happiness is not about the structure, the social media post, or the story. Happiness is about alignment, building a life aligned to whoever you are. This does beg the question, why do I do it? Referring to himself now. If I'm honest, the answer is probably, I don't know. It's probably some blend of lower T trauma, my inability to fit inside normal structures like school and conventional workplaces. I was fired a few times. My ADHD brain that makes working on something for 14 straight hours feel like 7 minutes, and some childhood self-esteem issues. Whatever the reason, this is who I am and what works for me. This is the weird way I make myself happy and fulfilled. To someone that is not me, it will probably feel like torture. And to me, their life would probably feel like torture. And that's the thing. When you create a life that feels like home to you, it will probably look like hell to Taurus. Okay. That's the end of the post.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think that this is articulated in a way that I was trying to say on a previous one of our previous live streams. I think it was the one around autonomy, where I was trying to say you can start building your life the way that you want it now. Like you don't need money to live the life that or a lot of money to live the life that you want to. Right. And I think that's what this dude sums up here, and hearing it come from someone who, you knew who he was. So like he's got a name for himself out there. like coming from that, it's like, okay, like this kind of validates what I felt, but couldn't really say that this succinctly. Um, and I also think that the like what it looks like to outside people, as soon as I let that one go,
Yeah.
a lot of my problems melted away.
Yeah.
What other people are thinking. So,
Well, the
uh,
funny thing is, he wouldn't have a career if he didn't think about what other people think. Like his whole thing is talking to people in public and pontificating in the way and like you can't do that without attention, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, like maybe I was thinking of it more like, well, the like the choice to do it in the first place,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe I'm thinking a little further back. The choice to even just go in
Mm.
that direction.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it depends on like what you do, right? If you want to be like, let's say you want to perform in some way, like then there is an element of that that requires you to sort of like play to the crowd, right? But if you
Yeah.
want to build things, you don't need to play to the crowd. You can build things. You can just build things. So it depends on the type of work, I think.
For sure. Speaking of playing to the crowd, we do have a crowd here. All right, so someone did like look at the title today. That's awesome. Thank you,
Hi, George.
George. Kelly, I guess you have to drop kick me now because that was
Come here. Come to Texas,
that
homie.
was the title. George, we talked about your post here. Where was it? We talked about this one.
The scaling.
Yeah,
We
the
talked about
scaling thing.
scaling.
I don't want to talk about that again, but we did talk about
You
one
can
of
go
your
back and
posts.
watch it, George, if you want to see us talk about it.
Um,
Sorry. I have to do something really quickly. Sorry, everybody. I'm coming out of the
are you leaving
closet.
the closet?
I know. Don't look at this room. It's really messy, but I'll only let you see the ceiling. Here we go. Back in the closet. I'm really sorry. That was very distracting.
It's all
I
good.
need my chapstick. I'm very dry. We don't have heat in our apartment or anything like that, air or anything. And so I'm not used to like in America, all of the air is just pumped into every house. And I am very dry. So
You're
there you
not, so
go.
you're used to the European
Yeah,
air
man.
circulation. Yeah.
So European.
Are you pumped to go back to Spain
Oh my God. Oh
or
my
are
God.
you
I'm so excited. Well, okay. The little update there, in case anyone cares, is my dad had this big surgery yesterday morning and it went really well. This was a surgery they didn't think he could have because he has like strange anatomy. And they were like, well, we can't really fix it. And then we got this rock star surgeon and she was like, I'll fix it. And so she fixed it. And now he's in the hospital and he is allowed to drive as soon as he can turn his head, which I was like, well, fuck, or that's going to be like a couple days. Right. But the thing is, they sliced open his neck and like scraped out his artery and then refigured it. So it's not all crazy anymore.
Jesus?
And so like he's not going to turn his head for several days at least. So basically, I think I'm here for another like week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I'll be back in Spain. So
Okay. All
I thought
right.
I was going back this weekend, and I was like, get my bag, so ready. But
All
it'll be
right.
another week, so it's fine.
Nasir, what do you people think about my community app to visualize the bubble database? If we had something like this in Bubble, it would be awesome.
I
Do I have
haven't
to
tried it
click on
yet.
this? Do we know Nasir?
I mean, I've seen this year in some of the WhatsApp groups talking about it. I think it was in the WhatsApp groups, and I just haven't been online enough to like try it. But I think it's a great idea. I'm not sure. Well, I'll try it out and see.
Well, do you want to just I mean,
Try it out.
you have another thing that you want to, do you have a rant today?
Not
Or
really. No, I don't have a rant. I'm sorry.
birdeye dot ALBALOSHI dot tech. Nasir, we're going to check out your stuff.
I don't have an app I can use for this. Like, do you have something that you can visualize
Well,
right now?
I just want to see what it is.
Hmm.
Bird's eye schema. Hang on.
Like an example of it.
Yeah, I mean, I have like test apps that I can put in if
Okay.
we need to do that. But let's see. All right, Nasir, we're gonna ask questions about what I'm seeing here. So, visualize your bubble database architecture, bird's eye schema.
Oh, it's pulling from the JSON. Yeah, okay. So you can just put in a URL and it will pull, kind of like George's pulls from the, well, not really.
Enter the URL of your bubble application, myapp.bubble.io. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can pull up a test app.
So funny because the app that I test things out on, well, I have like a coaching app that's just test stuff, but like the data structure doesn't make any sense on that, right? But then there's like my personal website or my professional portfolio website, but that's like 4 different apps in the one app because I use Coalius to sort of put different URLs on it. So the data structure is like bonkers because it's 4 different apps that don't really interact with each other. So I never have an app that I can, and the rest of my apps are like client apps. So I can never test stuff like this out.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not sharing right now, right? I don't know if
No,
I'm supposed to be. All right, good. Back to my apps. Yeah, I really slowed the pace down by going down this route. All right, this is
While you're doing that, Nasir, tell us like how you built it. Is it like, did you vibe code it?
And this is the this is like this app is not even. You know what, Nasir? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this today. I'm gonna waste too much time trying to get it. Just put your app URL and it'll visualize the app database for you. Do I even have the preview on this thing? Okay, I did. All right, Kelly, let's see what happens here.
Okay.
Import from URL. Fetching schema. Scanning application schema. I don't even know if this app is live. Probably isn't. This bubble schema is not detected. Verify URL. All right, we can't do this.
Is it because you haven't deployed it?
Yeah, I haven't deployed it. Unless we're doing version test. Yeah, this is version test.
Nice. Oh, here we go.
Okay. User. Not the most interesting app to have tried this on. Okay.
Wait,
User
are there no
and
fields or anything? No fields.
I guess not. There's nothing really that I can put in here quickly like this, but I see the idea here, and that's really all I wanted to get a sense of is like
Yeah. If it had a full schema, it would look like an ERD all connected and stuff.
This is a stupid question, Kelly. There's no
Oh
way,
yeah, put in bubble.io. Do that. Because it's built on Bubble. Smart,
gotcha.
George.
George, let me close these out.
What you just did while you're doing that reminds me so much of my parents. My parents delete their text messages after they read them. They like clean out their text messages. I realized this the other day. My mom was spending like hours cleaning out her text messages. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm getting rid of these text messages.
I don't like having a lot of tabs open.
Sure.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, do you work with like a lot of tabs open, Kelly?
Oh my God, millions,
Yeah?
yes. I mean, but I
No.
still use Arc, and so they're not really open. They're like saved, I guess. They're like saved tabs. But
Gotcha.
yes, yeah, lots of dots.
I can't find anything. I see people that do that, and I can never find anything.
Yeah. I
Do I
mean,
sound
if
old
they're
for
across the
saying that?
top and they're all squished down, no, I don't. This is going to be huge.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big one. Nasir
Here's the question.
said,
While we're waiting for that, for
"Yeah,
someone like Nasir or George, even who's building stuff for the bubble community, there are so few examples of building something for the community that I feel like this happens so frequently. Someone will find Bubble, they'll become a Bubble developer, and they'll get really excited about like the gaps in Bubbles, or not excited, whatever, annoyed by the gaps in Bubbles thing, right? And platform. And so they'll build something to fix that gap, right? So like this, right? Or like George's uh, documentation, build print, or like the security thing, whatever it was called before they acquired it. Things like that. And it's so rare that those actually can make anyone any money because we don't pay to fill those gaps, you know? No, it's okay, Nasir. This is fun. It's fun for me. I want to see how it works.
yeah,
Um,
me too."
but it's like it's this funny like exercise that we all kind of take on where we're like, I'm gonna build something for the community, and then we realize, was it? I mean, maybe it's not a waste of time. I don't know. I think that George's build print has probably brought George quite a number of clients, right? I could be wrong about that. I don't actually know. Um, Costs about $1,000 a month to run, but contributes to the ecosystem and agency reputation. Yeah, right. So you're like kind of losing money on it, but also it's gaining you in other ways, right? There's no money in building tools for Bubble as an ecosystem. Flesk was the one. That's right. Yeah, the ecosystem's too small. And we're builders for other people. I am never going to pay for, not never, that's not true at all. I'm probably not going to pay for a tool that I don't really need when I'm using it for clients, if that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't have
definitely think
clients.
that there's no money in building for a community that small. I think you have to do like the reason you do it is like important.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I can't get this thing to work.
Oh, no.
Here. I tried bubble.io. Am I putting in the wrong URL here? I can't just copy and paste it from the comments, which is fucking
Right.
annoying. But I did type it in here. Kelly, do you see what's wrong with
Yeah.
this?
I don't see what's wrong with it.
Bubble.io gave me the same
Not detected.
gave
All
me the
right.
same
Well,
thing.
we'll try it again in between sessions and see.
Yeah. Nasir, we will do this live again if you
Yeah,
uh
I'm curious
when
to
we have
see
an
it.
app that we could actually do it. But I mean I get the concept. I get it. It's like
Mhm.
you could see the schema. What does one do with that schema? Like is that to give to somebody else as like documentation at some point? Is it for you to conceptually just keep track of, the related data types and fields in your own app? I see that thing a lot and people talk about how important it is, but I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm not really sure what I'm to do with this in practice.
Well, the way that Bubble looks, the way the data structure is sort of visualized is like you can't see the connections between those things. You can't see how is the project data type and the user data type connected? Like you would have to look through every field and see. So I think it shortcuts the like debugging or the kind of exploration of how your data is connected. Yeah.
A
I
mental
mean,
map of,
yeah.
yeah, a map. It's kind of like a map of the database. Okay, I mean, I guess I've never had it, so I don't know.
Mm,
Like it's not built into my workflow, but if I had
mhm.
it, I'd probably like, oh yeah, let me just see how this
Yeah.
whole thing comes together.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think it's much more common in traditional develop development, but like I find it useful when I'm designing a data structure, more useful than when I'm like looking at an existing data structure.
all right, we got comments. We got comments today, Kelly.
Yeah.
This is exciting. All right. It doesn't directly map one-to-one with clients, but reputation is reputation. Okay, so building
Mhm.
reputation, we're talking about build, print, and building
Mhm.
tools for the community that you're working within.
Yep.
Uh, George, you are the man.
Mhm. True.
says Sincere. It helps debugging and understanding the database and bringing new people into the app. New developers, I assume here.
I would guess, yeah. Yeah.
A good database schema is self-documenting and self-evident. Okay. So I think that, well, I think this is arguing against it then, right? Like a good database schema
I
is
think
self-documenting. A good database
the
schema is
schema
self-documenting. Okay.
itself. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I think the scheme. I think he means what Nasir built. Like that's the schema. It's
Yeah.
self-documenting and self-evident. So anybody could look at it and it'll be obvious to them what the relationships are.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's saying here. So we understand the app better. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, team.
Yep.
Kelly,
Fun.
anything else? Anything else for this week?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. We will be back next week, 9:30.
I hope. Let me just say, it's possible I'll be flying back to Spain, so I'll let you know. I'll let you,
Right.
John, know. I don't know if I'm gonna let everybody else know. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're not. I'll do my best. It'll be a surprise.
Okay. They say to
gotta
live
go.
stream on the schedule. I've been so freaking ridiculous. I've like definitely been the worst part of this. Like, oh, Kelly, can we skip this week?
Nah.
It's tough to keep a schedule, man.
It's been a weird year. It's been one of those weird years, I think.
All right, everyone. We'll catch you hopefully next week. Later.
Bye.